everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm working on a watercolor painting of a Pina Colada. I started the background with a wash of 2 different shades of blue. I wanted to give the perception of some type of depth, a darker shade and then a lighter shade. I also didn't water the paint down too much because I wanted the roughness of the texture to show, making it look more like clouds. And then as you can see, I proceeded to color the pineapples. I tried to match, in this example, I tried to match the colors that a pineapple would have. Sometimes I take liberties and I don't try to exactly match what you see in nature, but in this example, I did try to stick to my reference photo. It's been really hot around here lately in the city, so I wanted to kind of paint something that I felt inspired by. When I think of a pina colada, I think of like a beach, a vacation, something tropical, but near water, perhaps, like a beach scene. This is what this pina colada made me think of. And excuse the lighting. I don't know what I was doing with that. So I'm continuing on with the shadows of the shading the pineapple so you can see the shape. And then I go to the glass. I have a lot of saturation on this. It's very saturated, the color of this paint, so I decided to water it down. I'm trying to create the shadow. Watercolor isn't very forgiving, but if you initially get to what your mistake is, there's a little window. And the thing with watercolors is you don't want to overdo it because then it starts looking mucky really fast. The purpose of the blue that I'm using around the edge of the glass is to bring the glass forward and make the white of it look more pronounced. That's the other challenge with watercolor, because you're not gonna generally just use white. You're using the white of the page that you're painting on in most instances, especially if you're painting thin. So I wanted the glass to come forward more, so I started painting more of the blue background, another shadow. The glass is supposed to be clear, so it's going to pick up the colors that are around it. So this base here, I added some blue. The table that the glass is on, I'm going to incorporate that color into the glass as well. Once again, to show some type of reflection. So the table's looking streaky, but that doesn't bother me because that's the nature of the medium. And you can also let it dry between coatings to give it more of a solid look. Here I am incorporating just lightly some of the colors of the table onto the glass, like I mentioned earlier. And I want to touch up the edges to give it some definition. Once again, my lighting's a little weird, so of my recording of it. So I hope you can see what I'm trying to achieve here. I'm adding more details to the glass to indicate the shape. At this point, I'm really freestyling with the sky. It's a little cut off. I don't even know why that happens, but I want to kind of give it a more of a mood. I thought it was looking a little too, I don't know, boring. So I wanted to add some colors to the background to kind of make it look more sunsetty. At this point, I'm adding some finishing touches to the glass. I want to darken the edge of the glass, so because it lightened as it dried, so I just want to re-emphasize it. I'm adding another layer of shadow overall. It'll help bring out the white of the Pina Colada. Once again, as it dries, it lightens, so you have to keep that in mind. The bottom of the glass is a little fuzzy for my taste, so I want to add a little more emphasis with the dark line. As I mentioned earlier, that is the nature of the medium, to have a certain look, a kind of, it's not that sharp when you're using watercolor painting often. Some people are able to achieve a kind of realism with watercolor. It takes a lot of skill, But I think that you kind of have to resign to the fact that it's gonna look like a watercolor. More layering of the water, touch-ups to the sky. I'm adding some of the pink in the glass to reflect the background. I used the paper towel to pick up some of the paint on the glass. I think it was a little overdone. And I hope you enjoyed this little staycation. Like, comment, share, subscribe. See you next time.